Smoking's bad for your health. All right, this is another report on what's this on? Oh yeah, this is Neil's Han Dynasty. Please like, share, subscribe, buy some silver, some platinum, and some crystallized osmium, and be kind, helpful, grateful, because it's better than being a jerk. But that's not what this is about. No one's talking about this. Everyone says, oh no, America doesn't have the rare earth minerals it needs. Hey, what's up, C4? America doesn't have the rare earth minerals. China has them all. We're going to die if we don't suck up to China. What's up, Attila? Well, that's a bunch of bullcrap. I said in one of my earlier posts that the DNC, Democratic Republic of Congo, made America an offer that if they helped them in this war they had in the southeast part of their country from, I think, the M13 and Angola were attacking and taking over the southeast part of the Democratic Republic of Congo. The president of the Democratic Republic of Congo offered America access to its all of its minerals for mining rights and whatnot. And no one talked about this except for me that I know of. I'm sure other YouTubers did. I don't subscribe to everyone. But it was, here, let me go ahead. I asked Google, I said, hey, you know, did the Democratic Republic of Congo give America all of the rights to their minerals? And the answer is no. While the Democratic Republic of Congo has offered access to its mineral resources in exchange for military assistance. We already did the military assistance. What the news does not tell you is that that war has ended. America sent down a couple of my brothers and said, hey, go ahead and handle this. They went down there and showed them what war was about. They didn't want it, so they left. Now it says, particularly from the United States. So it says there, the Democratic Republic of Congo has offered access to mineral resources in exchange for military assistance, particularly from the United States. It has been presented as a full-fledged grant of mineral rights for stopping the war. Instead, it's been framed as a deal where the U.S. or the U.S. companies would gain access to the Democratic Republic of Congo's minerals in exchange for helping the Democratic Republic of Congo resolve its internal conflicts with potentially providing security guarantees. Now, what's that tell you guys? That tells me that we don't need China. China now is negligible. Their minerals, their rare earth minerals. If you research the Democratic Republic of Congo and see what kind of minerals that country has, they're freaking loaded. It is Africa. Africa's full of minerals and resources, and they have tons of them. And America has just been given first-tier rights to mine them because of it. Now, let's see. Here's a more detailed explanation. DRC's offer. The DRC has indicated it's willing to offer the U.S., including American companies and potentially U.S. sovereign wealth fund, access to its mineral wealth in exchange for resolving with the conflicts, particularly with the rebel group known as M23. You research that on your own. We already resolved it. Okay, it says U.S. interest. The U.S. has shown interest in these deals, recognizes the DRC's vast mineral resources as a potential strategic asset. What that means is we helped them in that war, and now we have their assets are our assets, and they are strategic, meaning China is getting cut out of the whole deal. This is an older report, so let's see. It's not granting any rights. While the DRC offers involve granting access to minerals, it does not seem to be a situation where the U.S. is being granted full ownership or control, which is cool. It's their country. They should get, 20, 30%. Any country should. It's a very fair and reasonable deal, not like the deals that were given to the Sahel region of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, but better. 30% is a good return on investment in that one. And the focus on security and investment. The primary motivation appears to be the DRC's desire for security guarantees in exchange for a deal that would stimulate its economy and potentially bring foreign investment. And that is the story I wanted to bring you guys today. And that is the story. America now has itself access to one of the richest mineral reserve countries in Africa. It's in the heart of Africa, the Democratic Republic of Congo. We fulfilled our part of the deal. They ended the war. Now we get to go in there and get all the minerals that we and whatnot that we used to have to get from China. No longer reliant on China. And you could have picked up on this when Trump was talking to the Canadian Prime Minister, and he's publicly said, we don't need Canada's oil, we don't need their electricity, we don't need their wood, and we don't want it. We want America to make everything. That's where I say manufacturing is coming back to America, because America will be making everything. Whoever hops in there to make that manufacturing company, to make their wood, to make their electricity, make whatever, they're going to rule by 2030. But that's what I wanted this to be about. There are some other things I'd like to talk about, but I'm going to wait till I do a live stream for that, so that way I can do a share screen. But I just saw Trump talking with the South African president. And in the beginning, he mentioned, we just stopped the war in the DNC, the Democratic Republic of Congo. And I was like, whoa, hold on. I didn't hear that report. And that's what made me go check on it, because last I heard was that the Democratic Republic of Congo's president had made the offer. And now Trump, I heard just today, say, yeah, we ended that war. I'm like, whoa, that's a 180 turn, and a very, very lucrative turn for American business, because it's American companies that are offered the deals first choice, not other countries. So American companies are going to bring value back to America from that deal, making America wealthier and allowing us to cut ties with China. And as I said 3 years ago, when I started my channel, the future will be dictated by treaties, and new trade agreements. Yeah, it was a great meeting. He put that South African president in his place with their lies. He brought his whole cabinet over to be slapped like little children. And they were, because they deserved it. They are 100% working against Americans' interest, while we were giving them $400 million a year, which apparently, when we take away that $400 million, they fall apart. But yeah, hold on. Now that sounds all good and all whatever. But that $400 million a year was for U.S. aid. It was supposed to help them feed their poor, get medicines and all this stuff. So why is their government falling apart when we take that $400 million worth of aid? It should have never gone to the politicians. It should have never been diverted for other uses, which it was. It was diverted for infrastructure, to keep payments on things going so they could keep their socialist government going. And see, that's where I see geopolitical as a very, very big part of the global economic arena. Because as I've been saying, hey, what's up, James? As I've been saying, BRICS has cut South Africa out. Russia has the ability to help South Africa restart their nuclear power plants to give them power. Right now, that country has no power for half of the day. 50% of that country is black, dark, no power. And then it switches. So that's why their GDP and all these companies. Oh, yeah, that's what I wanted to share. I got something from Angola. No, it was the World Platinum Council. Let me see. Folders. Should be, here it is. World Platinum Council. This is a good one, guys. Okay, they published and it's always a past tense. I've already told you this stuff. But now I got this yesterday. So just yesterday, the World Platinum Council agreed with Neil and what Neil has been telling you on his show for several weeks, if not more than a month. Okay, it says, today we publish our Platinum Quarterly Data set, which examines the activity of the first quarter of this year and provides a revised forecast for the full year. Independent analysis is provided by research partners Metal Focus. Okay, basically what it says is key information from the report. Forecast platinum market deficit deepens to 966 KOZ. Kilos? I don't know what KOZ actually is. Third successive year of market deficit. 3 years of a deficit, and it's still not a platinum squeeze. Give me a break. Next one. Forecast total supply in 2025 is the lowest in 5 years. So we're in a third year of deficits, and 2025's production is estimated to be the lowest in 5 years, decreasing by 4% to about 7 million ounces instead of like 7.5 or something like that. Okay, resurgence in China's platinum jewelry demand drives forecast 5% increase in demand. So now we have 3 years of market deficit. This year is going to be the worst production in 5 years, and there's a 5% increase in demand just in the jewelry market, just from China. Automotive demand's resilient, and forecast shows a 2% reduction, which doesn't cover the 5% increase in China. But let's see, robust investment demand continues, forecast at 688,000 ounces in 2025, bolstered by strong bar and coin demand, which means there's more demand for the coin. And above ground stock falls to 2,160 ounces in 2025, representing only a 3-month of demand cover, which means we have an above ground supply of platinum of 3 months before it's gone. Everyone talks about this stuff about, I'm going to get back to, let me get here in this. Every BRICS is on that arrival, just like BRICS is that on arrival, just like you've been saying for 2 years. Yeah, they're kicking South Africa out, back to South Africa. I got on platinum because South Africa's right now is platinum until cleaner metal starts mining. But Russia could restart South Africa's nuclear power plant. They're not. Instead, they're building 2 in Egypt and 1 in Burkina Faso. So Russia is building 3 nuclear power plants in 2 non-BRICS nations, and they're not helping the S in BRICS get theirs restarted so they can keep their power going, all this other stuff. China is supposed to have taken over control of power with South Africa. Russia and China are at economic odds right now, and no one's talking about this. And that's why Russia is not helping South Africa, because they just diverted all of their power to coal, buying their coal from China because they signed up to the One BRICS Road initiative. They have to buy their stuff from China. China is not a nuclear nation. They're a coal nation. They get their coal, most of it, from Australia. 2 years ago, they said, no, we don't like how your stance is on our politics, so we're not buying coal from you. Australia said, fine. I did a report on this. Australia said, fine, we'll sell it on the open market to someone else. They had no problem. China had a power problem because they had no reserve purchaser ready to buy coal so they could keep their coal power plants fired. So they did not sell their excess coal to South Africa. That put South Africa in a bind. South Africa can do nothing about it because they signed up to the One Belt Road Initiative, and China owns their business. They own their minerals. They own their power supply, and they said, no, we can't afford it. So basically, the internal fighting between Russia and China on who's going to control BRICS, it's got a squeeze on South Africa, and because of what South Africa's done, they see that they have no future with China, and they're at wits' end, and they're coming begging back to America for us to help them, and they've got to do a lot of change. So in other words, what I see is basically they're probably not going to be part of BRICS for much longer. And I think what's going to happen is BRICS is going to court the Sahel nations into BRICS to take the place of South Africa. And geopolitically, that's going to put Russia more in control of Northwest Africa, and America will probably come in and save South Africa and take over control of South Africa, therefore getting off of the One Belt Road Initiative, which is manipulating the price of platinum. And that's why I say buy platinum now. Everyone in the world out there who has a YouTube channel, as the precious metal people, are finally saying, platinum's starting to look good. No, it's always looked good, baby. Now you can't get it cheap as you could have a month ago, and you could have got it cheap as long as I've been telling you. What's up, Jethro and Emerald Close Stacker? Oh, God. But yes, Atlanta is definitely a nightmare. I try and drive around Atlanta as much as possible, as far around as possible. How's it going, Jethro? But basically, it's a big weave back to platinum, and the price manipulation of platinum is due to geopolitical things and the One Belt Road Initiative and the conflict, the economic conflict between Russia and China, and us and China, and the rest of the world and China. So there's a lot of things going on there, but it all ties back to the manipulation of platinum is fixing to break. And every single YouTuber, David Morgan, all these other people are starting to talk about, wow, we need to start looking at platinum. Yeah, hey, I'm right here, guys. I'll tell you everything you need to know. I've already told you everything you need to know. It's just now coming through fruition because, as I've said before, I give information out early, 6 months to a year early. This platinum report I'm giving you, which I'll go back to, on the squeeze, we've only got a 3-month supply, above ground supply, and demand's up 5%. And let's see, global demand in Q1 recorded a 10% year-on-year increase of 2,274 ounces. This was due to strong investment demand driven partially by a sharp rise in exchange-held platinum stocks and tariff-related uncertainty, and the widening location premiere encouraged higher metal flows into the U.S. Has anyone told you that the U.S. is buying most of that platinum after China? So we're the second largest buyer of platinum. Investment demand growth offset declines in automotive and industrial demand. Meanwhile, total platinum supply fell 10%, reflecting, so it fell. Platinum supply has fallen 10%, even though there's less demand in industrial, automotive and industrial sectors. Supply dropped as 10%. Demand has still increased 10%, to leaving us with a 3-month supply above ground of platinum. We are fixing to have platinum at what they call unobtainium. Buy some platinum, people, because they talk silver. Oh, silver's going to go to 1,000, then it'll be unobtainium. Platinum's there, baby. It's there. We have 3 months is separating us from being platinum is unobtainable. The World Platinum Council told you we have a 3-month above ground supply, and demand is up 10%, and supply so far this year is down 10%. It's not looking good if you want to keep cheap platinum. It's looking real good if you have platinum, because the price will probably blow your mind. Let's see, get back to the report here. Investment and demand growth offset declines. Okay, I already read that part. This result in Q1 2025 a deficit of 816,000 ounces, or 8,160. Anyhow, it's 816 KOZ. I'm thinking it's 8,160 ounces. The largest single quarterly deficit in 6 years. Supply decline remains a prominent theme for the full year of 2025, with a 4% year-on-year drop on top of the 10% they already have, which put us at about a 15% year-on-year drop in total supply forecast. Demand is set to fall 4% in 2025, and the growth of the jewelry sector and investment does not fully offset the decline in automotive and industrial demand. Nevertheless, the 115 KOZ higher than previous demand forecast, deepening third successive annual deficit forecast of 2025. Let's see, mine supply contract significantly in 2025. Let's see, the mining supply fell 13% year on year, about 1,086 KOZ in the first quarter of 2025, the lowest quarterly output since Q2 of 2020, with weakness all across major productivity regions except Russia. The reason why, South Africa accounted for the bulk of the decline. The reason why South Africa has a bulk of that decline is because they only have power for 50% of the day. They can't mine 24 hours a day. This is going to continue. It's all tied in. Their power problems has to do with what's happening in the platinum market. Platinum is such a rare element on this planet, and South Africa is the only one to mine it. This is why I know there's a squeeze going on right now, and no one is talking about. Well, they started talking about. Let's see, the magnitude of the year-on-year decline in Q1 2025 mining supplies was largely a result of a short-term disruption. However, some recovery is likely throughout the remainder of 2025. The full year total mining supply is expected to reach just 5,426 KOZ, down 6 to 11% of the average. Global recycling forecast shows a moderate recovery of growth of only 3%, so they're not recovering much of it. Let's see, automatic demand. Let's see, investment demand is up. Here we go. Investment demand robust in 2025, boosted by a 48% increase in China bar and coin demand. So they had Chinese Has anyone told you that the Chinese are buying platinum hand over fist? They are squeezing the market. Shh, don't tell the Americans. Only let Neil tell you that there's a platinum squeeze going on as we speak. We have a 3-month above ground supply. Google that. See if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Hey, what's up, Deja Vu? Sorry, I didn't watch the chat here for a while. James, Deja Vu, Jeff, Platinum. Yeah, Platinum jumped well over 100. Man, oh my God. Yeah, the days of, Emerald, 48% is very impressive. And there's only a 3-month above ground supply with that kind of purchasing going just to one country. Everyone says the Chinese are buying all the gold. My fucking ass. They are buying all the platinum. I told you guys last year they bought half the world's supply of platinum in 2024. I told you the squeeze of platinum is on. Nothing but crickets. Now, everyone's seeing the beginning of what the public has to see as the public squeeze. I do truly, truly, truly hope over the past 3 years that me screaming down your throats to buy silver, platinum, and crystallized osmium got somewhere to where you have some platinum, because it's going to get to past its all-time high by the end of probably, good chance by the end of this year. Hold on, I need to get some milk for my tea. And it's hard to do research without tea, people. And that's why I bring you this shit. Has anyone else brought you reports that there's a 40%, 48% increase in platinum purchases in China? And if you want to know anything about squeezes, everyone starts talking about, oh, silver squeeze, silver squeeze, silver squeeze. Yeah, it's coming one day, maybe. But what's happening now is platinum that's 30% mined 30 to 1 to gold. Silver 7 to 1. Platinum's 1 to 30. 1 ounce of platinum is mined for every 30 ounces of gold. 7 ounces of silver are mined for every 1 ounce of gold. Which one's more rare? Which one's easier to squeeze? Platinum. Which one's being squeezed right now? And the price has just started to reflect that. Platinum. Let me get the chat here. Clean Air Metals is at a low price. Yes, this is not financial advice, but I'll tell you right now, Clean Air Metals is a good long-term buy for stocks go. I don't care if stocks crash or anything. It's like 3 cents per share. Throw 30, 40, 50 bucks at it. Let it sit. Best choice you'll ever make in your life, other than having children and getting rid of your ex. Oh my God. Dude, there's so much more, Jeffro, to platinum than automotive. Like I said, one reason why China bought, was it 3.2 million ounces of platinum in 2024 was for new technological advances in engines, and they are developing and building automotive engines that need platinum for 10 car companies, and they are contract. I've said this several times in many of my posts throughout with the past year. They have been contracted and are building automotive engines that they're not combustion engines. It's like a hydrogen hybrid style engine. And there's 10 car companies that they're building these engines for, which tells me 2025's new 2026 models offered probably at the end of 2025 will be a brand new style of engine being offered, which means China's also got to buy half the world's supply of platinum this year. We've got a 3-month supply above ground. Squeeze. Shit, it's going to be unobtainium by freaking end of summer. What's that do? Everyone's sitting here who's a silver bug. What is your highest expectation when silver becomes unobtainium on the price? How many fold? 1,000-fold? 100,000-fold? Okay, platinum's going to be unobtainium most likely by the end of this year. Do you have some? I'd get some. Not financial advice. But if you research and everything I just said, don't research anything else, just research what I said. And after you pick your jaw up off the ground, come to your own conclusion. Platinum is squeeze has been going on. It started at the end of last year when I said it did, and it's going very strong. And by the end of this year, it'll be unobtainium. And if anyone has any clean air metals stock, it'll go up higher than platinum percentage-wise. I'm not a financial advisor, folks. I just see pathways, and they just happen to come true. Well, I'm a dumbass. I get lucky all the time. So once this is over, though, I won't be able to tell you anymore about platinum because it'll be over. So I'll be saying buy silver and crystallized osmium, and by 2026 I'll be saying buy silver, and after that I won't be talking about none of that shit because you won't be able to buy any of it. Well, you'll still be able to buy silver if you got money. And crystallized osmium, but not platinum. No one will be able to afford to buy platinum. So if you have it now and you hold it a couple of years, you might be able to buy a house with a couple of ounces of platinum, just like they say you used to be able to do in gold during hyperinflation. Yeah, well, this has nothing to do with hyperinflation. This has to do with supply demand. There is no supply and the demand is increasing. Supply, demand, price curve. Simple business, simple economics. C4, my suggestion would be get the cheapest platinum you can, because when it becomes unobtainium, you'll get a good price for it. It doesn't matter what coinage it is. As a matter of fact, you'll probably find it hard to sell because it'll be so freaking expensive. You'll have to sell it to the industrials, and that would be more bullion than the Eagles. But that's just my opinion. Any platinum right now is good platinum. That's all I'm saying. To have is better than to have not. Your personal choice on what that have is. Hey, what's up, Jethro? JM, excuse me. Let's see who else came in here. Snooks, what's up? Oh, you're not confusing me. It would be a happy day if you told me you bought an ounce of platinum before it's unable to be purchased. Because as I said, and I think I still got it up, there's more from the Platinum Council. They basically are telling you the same thing I've already told you. They're just doing it officially. Because I'm like, what do you call it? I'm the insider trader. I give you this information before they calculate it and put it in a report. And they never expected someone who's not in their industry to be able to do that. So it's not really insider trader information. It's independent, knowledgeable trader information before the experts give it to you by about, 6 months to a year. Let's see. In Q1 2025, industrial platinum demand fell by 22%, yet it still has got a deficit due to demand in every other sector, not just the industrial, which shows that there is a demand for industrial and commercial and jewelry. There's every use you can think of for silver and gold. There's the same use applies to platinum. So let's see, industrial demand forecast decline is forecasted to decline 15% in the full year due to anticipatory reductions in glass demand, which is expected to decline by 58%. Glass, what the hell's glass got? Oh, chemical refining. Chemical demand is expected to fall by 6%. In the gains in offsetting gains of the petroleum, which is up 25%. Hydrogen demand will be up 35%. Medical demand is up 4%, and electrical demand is up 2%. So all of those, let's see, the up in demand of 6% for chemicals, petroleum industries up 25%, hydrogen demands up 35%, medical up 4%. And electricals up 2%. That comes to, in my mind, well over 60% uptick, which takes away the 22% deficit or or 15% decline in the automotive. So there's still about a 45% increase in demand in, okay, that's the end of the report. That's the bottom of it. But that's it right there. No, Snooks, I don't buy anyone platinum. I don't even buy myself platinum. I buy platinum stock, platinum miner stock called Clean Air Metals. And with that, I'll have a lot of platinum. This I got while in Hawaii. It was given to me by the owner, the brother. Well, they both own the Hawaiian. They own local 625 Hawaiian Ironworkers. It works differently. It's supposed to be like a union, and it's called a union, but they actually own everything. And I was working directly for him. He got me this because I was there Christmas 2019 working for him. I also got another shirt, long sleeve blue, like tie-dye looking one. I got that one while in Maui. Maui? Yeah, Maui. It's called Haole because some only white people go there. All the Hawaiians call it Haole, not Maui. Haole. Not Haole. Which is a nice way of saying foreigner, but specifically white foreigner. But it's not racist. Nah, I'd look better in it. I look better in it because I'm in it. Yeah. Oops, I don't have it buttoned up. Oh well. Yeah, well, I give better information than Peter Schiff. I've been telling you people for over a year about the platinum squeeze going on. Now, the rest of the world's catching up. And to all my subscribers, the 20 or 30 that have been with me for a while, you'll finally realize that actually I give better information than Peter Schiff, Andy Schectman, Chris Marcus, David Morgan, the Economic Ninja, and anyone else out there when it comes to platinum. I've known this is going to have been happening, and I've been telling you it's been happening. Everyone else is finding out. What now, Gerald Draper? We are talking about pork loins being grilled and broiled at the same time. I think you stick the broiling pan on top of the grill, and you can grill pork loin. That was off the top of my head. Actually, we were talking about aluminum and how aluminum cans are a good investment. And it also cleans up your street when you're out walking for health. Pick up the aluminum cans because each of those 12-ounce cans is out here in California is approximately 10 cents. The rest of the nation, I think it's 7 cents. But if you think about it, 10 of them 70 cents, 100 of them $7. If you're out walking for health anyhow, to pick up the fucking cans, make some money. No, we were talking about platinum. What do you think we were talking about? And how there's a platinum squeeze going on, and there's only a 3 months above ground supply left of platinum on the planet. Yeah, and there's an increase in demand and a decrease in supply. And that's going to continue for the year of 2025. So we have about 6 or 7 months to go, and we only have half that amount of platinum. So hope like hell there's a new platinum company out there digging and getting a mine started. Wait, there is one. Clean Air Metals. I've told you about that one too. Towards the end of the year, people will start talking about it, saying it's the greatest company out there to invest in when it's about 20 or 35, 45 cents. But if you buy it now, it's at 2 to 3 cents. This is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. I'm just going to tell you what will happen because I have cats. And cats psychically tell me the future because I can't see the future, but they can. Of course, I'm kidding. Oh, physical silver. Yeah. Everyone talks about the physical silver squeeze, Gerald. Like I said, is there a 3 month above ground supply of physical silver left, or is it like 1.5 to 2 years? Yeah. Probably more than that above ground supply of silver. And as far as recycling goes, there's a hell of a lot more recyclables that's not being recycled yet because the price is too low. None of that applies to platinum. So like I said, there's a platinum squeeze going on right now. People are going to start talking about it in a couple months, but it's on right now. And you can tell people, yeah, I've known about the platinum squeeze. I heard it from Neil Hassan Dynasty. He's the platinum guru. He was telling me about it when it was going on and no one else was talking about it. And I invested in it and I bought some, is hopefully what you're going to say. Because if you haven't, get some now. It's under $1,100. Get some now. I don't know if it, I mean, it's always this way, but it's going to go, instead of on a line like this and going like this, it's going to be on a line like this and going like this, which means every low is going to be higher than the last low. And as my good buddy who I've never met, who's in Australia, Morning Joe from Good Morning Stackers, will tell you, when you start seeing higher lows being made, I know everyone tells me I look like Kevin Bacon, but you know what? He's got a bigger bank account. So he looks like me. He took advantage of my bank account. And that's how I explain being poor. Yeah, I've heard that one. Looks like Chuck Norris. Now, if I put on the 70s slack and the white shirt with the freaking cowboy boots, and I hook up with Chris Chan and we go to the first annual Tapman Foot Kung Fu Academy at the opening of the San Francisco's new academy that they now have finished right by Pac Bell Park, I would agree with you, but we did that 15 or 20 years ago. And because of it, I was not allowed to compete because I walked in with Chris Chan and everyone thought it was Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris lookalikes because little Chris Chan, as he looks a lot like Bruce Lee. Yeah, I love bacon too. Bacon, 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 bacon. Soon I'll be holding little kitty cats here saying, and if you grab them through the computer, you can adopt them. These little suckers, they're not even. First week of June, the oldest ones will be 8 weeks old and they're already escaping, running around, eyes open, playing. They're like advancing a lot faster than regular kitty cats. But I do take care of the mamas and other cats real well, so. This is California tobacco. It's like an American spirit. I grew it myself. Simon and Simon. You know the blonde on Simon and Simon, Jeffro, gave up his acting career because he did one song that did okay on the music charts. And he, when it came time to renew his acting contract with Simon and Simon, and this is why the show ended, he chose his music career. He wanted to go with a music career over acting career, and he flopped, and he was never back in his acting career. And his partner is till this day making movies and a #1 star. I don't even recall the last one he had. I think what is it, NCIS Los Angeles. He's the head admiral now. He used to play Simon Simon, the guy who had the balding spot with the mustache and cowboy hat. He's still acting, but his partner gave it all up for a music career. Nothing happened. Poor guy chose him properly. That's why I say life's full of choices and decisions. Choose wisely. Because when things are going for you, you make one wrong move, it can end real freaking fast. And that's why when you start making money, pay stuff off. So when you quit making money because you made a bad move, your house will be paid off, your car will be paid off, your vacation house will be paid off when you're not making money. So at least you can sell your vacation house and still live because you're not credited out thinking that means rich, because it doesn't. Is that the guy's name? Gerald McRaney. Hey, what's up, Tom? Boy, you just got over a rant I was doing about platinum and the platinum squeeze being on. I can't do nothing about that shiny window. Sorry. I know it's bad, but then I got another shiny window. See a shiny window on either side of me here. And I actually have a mirror covering most of that fucking window. It shouldn't be that shiny, but it is. Sorry, guys. Nothing I can do about it. Yeah, I give all the evidence. Basically, Tom, we have a 3-month above ground supply of platinum left on the planet, and to increase that, the mining supply has decreased by like 25% because of issues that South Africa has, and specifically due to South Africa, and it is a geopolitically caused problem. There's a difference between they're running out of platinum and there's a problem with them getting platinum out of the ground because of geopolitical mistakes they made that the country's being punished for right now. So in other words, this whole platinum squeeze thing is set up. And I see it. And I tell you guys about it. What's up, Eco? Yeah, so because of geopolitics and because South Africa signed up to the One Belt Road Initiative, when platinum started to go below gold for the first time in history, was the time that South Africa signed up on the One Belt Road Initiative and turned over the profit margin of all their minerals over to China. And China said, yeah, we're going to have to buy a lot of that, so we're going to suppress the price. And for the first time in history, platinum price was manipulated. That's ending. You need to get some platinum really seriously bad. If you think silver will one day be unobtainium, platinum will be unobtainium by the end of this year at the current rate. Now, something that can save us is this company called Clean Air Metals. If they start extracting their platinum out of their new platinum mine in Canada and become the number 3 or 4 or 2 platinum miner in the planet, then a lot of things happen. Definitely China's manipulation of the control of price of platinum is ending. And it won't be unobtainable, but it'll be very expensive. And that's why I say buy it now. Because once platinum goes up to past its all-time high, I don't think it'll ever come back down, which means it's going to be 3 times. Its new low will be easily 3 times what it is now, in my opinion. And it's only opinion, not financial advice. Do your own research. Osmium is a platinum group's metal, Gerald. And for all you people that don't know, when I say buy silver, platinum, and crystallized osmium, osmium is a platinum group's metal that is obtained only when you mine platinum. So if you're not mining platinum, you're not mining osmium. So the same thing happens. And that's why I say buy silver, platinum, and crystallized osmium, because once the platinum squeeze starts, the osmium squeeze is on too, and it's already a individually controlled market. So you're either in or out. And luckily enough, later this year in August, there's going to be a cryptocurrency, a fully fungible token that is going to be backed 100% by crystallized osmium. I would suggest looking into. I'll be promoting it when it comes out because I'm part owner or developer. I'm going to be in on that one because obviously I'm a promoter of crystallized osmium. What's up, Diabolical? How are you doing? Sorry I didn't say hi when you came in here, or maybe I did and I forgot because I'm smoking some good California tobacco. By the way, I did a report yesterday about the Drug Enforcement Agency, as of November 7th, is looking to downgrade marijuana from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3 drug. And basically, they even stated in their paper, in their press release, the reason for it is because of its medical uses. And that's why they are declassifying it, working on the paperwork hand in hand with the Department of Justice. And they're decriminalizing it from they're making it from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3. Schedule 3 drugs are allowed to be used for medical purposes. And Trump, as I've said, in his last 4 years he was in office, he promised to medical marijuana legally nationwide. So once the DEA and the Department of Justice finalized the paperwork, and there's an announcement made that they've rescheduled marijuana from class 1 to class 3. That opens up the door for Trump to be able to legalize medical marijuana nationwide. What that does with the medical marijuana stocks, so do your own research. I suggest MJNA, but do your own research. Yeah, thank you very much, JM. You are so on top of it. Yeah, that's about the DEA and the Department of Justice looking to change the scheduling of marijuana from stage 1 to class 1 to class 3. Only thing is, Deja Vu, I'm not a good fit in California because I can't afford to live here. I can't afford to buy here. And I can't do my crystal lightning artwork here. There's no lightning here. It's hard to draw lightning where there is none. Yeah, exactly, Tom Larson. That's how prominent. I tell people all the time. Tom says, I think that he has 11 weed shops in his small town. We have 120,000 people in Vallejo. We had 26 weed shops until they started legislating the number down. We have like 7 now still. That's like 1 per every 20,000 people. There is more weed stores than there is automotive stores, grocery stores, hospitals. So the amount of people that are involved in the medical marijuana or the want to legalize the medical marijuana because they smoke marijuana is more than the crypto people that are into crypto, or the crypto maximus, or your gold and silver maximus, or your stock maximalist. All these individual people who are only into their individual things. Well, medical marijuana kind of it knocks down all those borders, because you have people in crypto that want medical marijuana legalized. You have people in stocks that want medical marijuana legalized, and you have the precious metals people that want. So that market cap is bigger than those 3 market caps individually, because the sheer number of people that want it. So I see the medical marijuana stocks this year, when that announcement is made, really flying. The market cap people will be rolling money into those ones. Oh, 16,000 people. You got a small town. Ours is about 8 times bigger than yours, Tom. What are you talking about? 79 Infinite Mini, LA Snooks. Anyhow. Oh my God, dude. Check this out. You want to know about this? This is the control. There was a medical marijuana company back when Trump was in office the first time that was trying to import Canadian marijuana seeds called BC, British Columbia. It's called BC weed. Trying to import their seeds to America. There was such, dude, a little freaking seed, right? And America stopped every damn one of them from coming through the border. But we couldn't stop a freaking human being from coming through the southern border. Really? Yeah. No, they have the control too. Everything was set up. But they stopped the BC bud from coming here to America. They kept British Columbian or BC bud, and the Canadian strains aren't in America. Last I checked. Now, JM, from your end, if you know something different, all I know is for some reason, America locked down Canadian weed not coming to America. And I don't know why. Oh, Deja Vu, you don't live in a good area if there's only 2. Natter is a real small town. Yeah, I've got, it's a matter of, God, I want to show you guys so bad my plants. I'll do a little 30-second thing. I don't want to get a strike, but I'm doing 3 different growing techniques actually 4 different growing techniques for 6 plants, and they're all working great. It's beautiful. This is a good year. I prepped the soil great. Yeah, I know, JM. I actually have. I don't have. I mean, I don't know why I'm looking. I used to have 6 Elysian Breeze original seeds because my buddy went down to Belize a lot and he got to know some of the locals down there. It's a sativa. It's not that strong at all, but it's an original. It's not a GMO. And so when I get stable in the house, I'm going to mix it in with a couple other non-GMO strains that I find, and I'm going to try and increase the potency of those and like do a restart of the weed market with the regular non-genetically altered weeds and start mixing and matching those old school style. Because I'll be growing anyhow. It'll be like a scientific experiment when I grow, because I always grow and I always do experiments when I grow, but I always guarantee that I'm going to get a successful grow on top of what experiments I'm doing. But I do experiments on the plants, and because I like learning stuff. I love learning stuff. To this day, I love learning stuff. Oh my God, JM, you tell me about it. I'd like to get some of that, some seed. That would be awesome. And once it goes medical, trust me, it'll be easy to do. All these borders that are put up, these legal blockades that are put up to prevent that from happening, they'll all crumble. And you'll be able to get, if you have a connection over there, and if you don't have a connection over there, whoever does have a connection over there here in America, they need to start a store, open up a company, because a lot of people in America will want to buy that product. Yeah. Uh, I don't know how indoor people make money, man. The electricity costs. Yeah, they're good. They're still good. Jeffra, they're good. Seeds are good for a good long time if properly stored. If properly stored. If just left outside, no, they won't be good. But if properly stored, they last a good long time. I'm actually going to start a feminized seed sales company once it becomes medically legal. Because this year, that's why this year I have 3 plants, 3 different species in pots that I'm going to individually uh, feminize, do the process to where you can feminize that individual plant to get a feminized seed from that plant. I'm going to do it to all 3 of those plants, all 3 of those species. So I have 3 different types of feminized seeds, and then I'm going to regrow them along with a couple others. My first year down in Alabama, and I'm going to feminize those, and I'm going to start selling feminized seeds because they go for like $10 a pop. What's Tom saying for right on? Oh, Tom, check this out. Hold on, I'll be right there. You might know this one, Tom. Yeah. Talk about LED. This is, shit, son. Get over there, light. It's the kind LED. It's one of the best ones from 3 years ago. It gives the most light coverage at 3 foot, I think. It covers 2 foot by 3 foot rectangular at like 36 inches. It covers all the light spectrums, all the fucking LEDs. I've never used it. It's got all the fans in the back. And it's heavy, but I'm selling it. Yeah, Sunkind. Like I said, 3 years ago, technologically, it was the most technologically advanced light as far as the spectrum distance down, still keeping the looms angled. It wasn't angled out. It was more angled down this with all the LEDs. It covered it from 3 foot as memory goes. At 3 foot above the plant, it would cover 3 foot this way and 2 foot this way of maximum spectrum of light coverage for the grow and then the bud cycle. And then it dispersed out from there further to like 3 foot by 5 foot. But the maximum coverage was a 2 foot by 3 foot area at 3 foot elevation. I'm almost positive of that. Yeah, this one has fans built in. Like I said, it was the best unit. It cost me $1,500, bro. I'm selling it for like $3,000. I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure the new technology is probably better, but you probably could, and it's never been used. I never used it. I actually built a shed out back. I was going to use it, but then Governor Newsom decided we needed to pay more electricity bill, and I redid the analysis, and I was like, yeah, this isn't going to be a viable process anymore. So I put it all on hold and wrote it off as a loss. I have solar panels. I need to put this back outside. My cats are starting to look at this light. Get away, get away. This is not for you. It's not a kitty light. Back off. I don't want him taking ownership of it, i.e. pissing on it. Yeah, I figured if you, once you started talking indoor, if you knew about indoor, you'd know what I was talking about. It was 3 years ago, that company was the #1 indoor lighting company for marijuana for growing, not just for all indoor growing. There was a company at the time, 3 years ago, I think it was in LA or Las Vegas area. They had a large indoor operation. It looked like a warehouse building. They had freaking huge water tanks for water filtration. They had like 30 or 40 of those lights, solar panels on top of the whole freaking building, along with a couple of windmills. And it was an expensive operation to get into, but basically a self-maintaining operation as far as expense, because they have the solar and the wind power, and that covered all the utility expense. So it was just self-maintaining in that, but it cost a lot to as an the investment starting point was high. If you went into that business and got a loan for it, you wouldn't be able to do it, because you'd have to pay the employees and you'd be running a negative. Yes, the low price. No, I was in the high heavy industrial, good quality turnaround, not small stuff. Not the mom and pops. That's not a mom and pops rig. That's an industrial production for large quantity production. If you had, yeah, it's expensive as an individual rig at a house to run electricity wise. It's like 750 watts an hour or something. 800, 900 watts an hour. It's expensive. 16 hours a day. That's quite expensive. All right. So have I talked to any of you guys into buying? Be careful in Alabama. Oh no, they'll be weed friendly as soon as Trump legalizes medical marijuana, and they'll see the advantageous of the business that'll be brought in. I'm talking with Jeff Rose. He said, be careful in Alabama. They're not weed friendly. They actually have medical marijuana down there right now. And another way to get around that is you go talk to the sheriff. There you go. Buy platinum. Buy it now. You will not regret it. Wow. Yeah. See, this unit here would cost more than both your units, Tom. I go first class, high end when I buy shit. I was going total high end. Yeah. Yeah, this ain't my house, so I'm not going to throw no money at any. Yeah, buy platinum if you can afford it. Definitely buy platinum. And another thing you need to look at, Pete the Sasquatch did this for some solar. You can buy solar panels on pallets at like $25 a solar panel. Now, hear me out. Hear me out. You get like 15 solar panels at $25 a solar panel. So you're looking at like $400 for 15 solar panels, right? Each solar panel has 20 grams of silver. At $30 an ounce, that's 2/3. So you're looking at it's got $20 worth of silver in it, and you're buying it for $25. Wait till silver goes up in price, and then recycle those things, and you can make one hell of a good amount of money just buying and holding those secondary solar panels that they're selling dirt ass cheap. Some I've seen pallets sell at $15 a solar panel, which means you could instantly recycle it and get $20 out of that. You can make $5 profit off each one, minus your time. Really not worth it. But once silver gets up to like $100, dude, you'll wish you had several pallets of those. That's bank. That's bank. Oh, it's a great deal for that light. That light right now selling used is $700 to $800. That one's never been used. I mean, it's old, but I never plugged it in. Then it's heavy, so it's shipping's out of the fucking. It's like 25 pounds. You have to have on green sunglasses. That's how powerful those motherfuckers are to cover so you don't hurt your eyes from the spectrum of light there, because it puts out light spectrum that we don't even see, because the plants see more in the blue and a green spectrum depending on the growth cycle that they're in, and it throws out lights that our eyes aren't used to. It's such a good indoor grow light that it comes with a special. And I can't find the green guy. I don't know where they're at because I've never used them. I put them somewhere, and they're somewhere there. They're somewhere. When I move, I'll probably find them. Not hard at all. Actually, all you got to do is and get into the electronics parts of it, because that's where it's all at, in the motherboard and chip area, and probably where it's hooked up to individual solar panel. You probably have a gram there or two there in the electronic fittings. I don't know exactly where it's at. It might actually be in the connection of each and every individual panel. If you turn it over and look at it, the wiring going each one, the motherboard, for lack of a better word, because I don't know about the electronic parts of it, might be in silver. But I don't see that, because then it would be more than 20 grams. Silver paste. Okay, CJM knows more than I do about that. So it's really not worth at obviously at this price, it's not worth it. But if it was at $100 an ounce, it'd be worth it to get 20 grams of silver paste for $15, $20, $25. And you could also use those same solar panels and actually hook them up to your house and probably make more money than recycling in silver by not having a fucking electric bill. Even if you only got 1 or 2 solar panels hooked up in your yard, not hooked up to your house, but you have a generator that's got an inverter, then you have fucking daylight, fucking free power. 200 watts, you'd have 400 watts with 2 panels, and you wouldn't be paying for 400 watts of electricity. You hook it up to your generator and then just plug into your generator, and the power from the solar panels will run straight through the inverter that you'd have because some generators have inverters. You'd have to buy one that has an inverter. It would run straight through there. You wouldn't even have to have, I don't believe you'd have to have the generator on to have that current flow through the inverter straight into an extension cord going into your house. So during daylight hours, you get a free 400 watts of an hour of power. That runs a lot of shit. Actually, Jeffro, what I really want is wind power. And that's why I'm looking at land with a couple acres, because with a couple acres, no one can say the excuse, oh, I can hear it spinning. And also, no one's been paying attention to wind power and wind turbines, the smaller units. They've actually overcome the problem of bird strike and noise in several models of wind generators that they've created for household units, because the atmospheres are, I think, 15 foot, and every 15 foot, the average wind speed changes. So if you're above 30 foot, you're at the third atmosphere. It's, I think, a maintained wind of 7 to 12 miles an hour. That right there, they've got wind generators. They've got this one wind generator at 3 to 5 mile an hour winds. It generates 1,500 watts an hour. So at between 7 and 12 miles an hour, you'd be getting like 3,000 watts of power an hour off that wind. Wind is indeterminate of day or night, as solar is right now with the technology we have. It doesn't capture all the light spectrum, because even at night you can collect solar panel. If we had the technology to collect the right light spectrum and turn it into energy. Our technology is not that advanced yet, but it will be. It's very feasible to do. We just don't have the technology to do it. So you go with wind power. And as I said, the atmospheres, if you have a globe, and flat earthers, get out of here right now. Okay, if you have a globe, every atmosphere is up because it's spinning. You get, so it's a year-round flow. It does not 24/7, 365, but more so than 8 to 10 hours of sun 365, because you got to minus storms, fog, and all the days the sun really ain't shining. Unless you're in, and even in California, the sun don't shine at 24. The days, it doesn't shine all the time. Platinum is the move, because it's been on the move since Neil's Han Dynasty has been telling you about it over a year and a half ago. It just didn't happen till now. But all the moves that are necessary to make the price move have been happening, and I've been telling you about them. The last part of the moves is the price action. Yeah, for real, man. It should be two. It should be 1 to 2. 1 ounce of platinum for 2 ounces of gold, and right now it's 3 ounces of platinum for 1 ounce of gold. So yeah, it'd be the most optimal time to trade gold in for platinum, because you can trade in 1 gold and get 3 platinum, and after the run on platinum, you'll be able to turn in 1 platinum and get 2 gold, which means you'll be able to take that 1 gold, trade it in for 3 platinum, hold that for about 2 years, and trade those back in for 6 gold, which means you made 5 ounces of gold profit in about a 2-year time period. Arbitrage, new word. I've talked about that before. That's the new word if you play ratios. Arbitrage. This is not financial advice. This is just Neil talking shit in a Hawaiian shirt that I'm not even intelligent enough to button. So don't listen to me, but look at the markets and you'll find out I'm pretty much right. Because I'm vain, dude. I don't want to be on TV and have people say, yeah, look at this idiot. He keeps talking. I don't want to be like Kramer. Even though he makes good money, he's got a good paycheck. I don't want to be wrong. I have a problem. I'm vain. I don't like being wrong. So I do thorough research. And when I find shit, I talk about it. And I've been talking about it. You can see I got a year and a half of, almost 2 years of talking about platinum, because I've seen the moves that it takes to make the price of platinum move. Everyone seems to think, oh, you wake up and platinum moved. No, there's a year or two worth of work that goes in ahead of time to make that move. And I'd say probably 0.5% of 1% of investors understand that. I'm in that group. And I bring that to you. That's why I sound like an idiot for like 9 months out of the year. And then the 10th month, it starts coming true. With platinum, it's been a lot longer. It's been like 2.5 years I've been screaming about platinum. So I've looked like an idiot for a long time on platinum. But in past tense, once platinum runs, people will be like, damn, I should have bought it when he first talked about it. He actually knew what he was talking about. Yeah, this long-haired hippie who can't freaking tie his fucking shirt, button his shirt. I know what I'm talking about, because I don't like being wrong. I'm vain. I don't like being wrong. So, I ain't going to bring you stuff and it be wrong. I've done thorough research, and I advocate heavily that you guys also do your own research on what I talk about, but you'll find the same thing I found out. But you'll find it out, and that means you'll have your own epiphany on it rather than listening to someone else. Plus, you'll have gained the knowledge yourself, and you can retain that knowledge, which increases your knowledge base. And everyone knows knowledge is power. So do your own research, gain some knowledge, gain some power, and buy some platinum. Buy some platinum stock, because the stock always is a multiple higher on return of investments than the physical market. I'm not a maximist. I also suggest you look at buying digital platinum. That's the newest thing coming out. The Bank of the English Mint is really pushing it. They're doing it for a reason. So that covers all three: stock, precious metals, and crypto, all in platinum. I'm not prejudiced on any one of them. It's platinum, and it's going to soar. And that means all those other sectors of the platinum are going to soar. The miners are going to do really good. The physical platinum price action will go way high. The digital assets, that's a new market. I have no clue. It'll be up. I don't know how high, because it's a new market. That's the great thing. It's new. That's always a good investment. Yeah, I agree with you, Jay. I think it's an expensive process. My cousin, my dad's sister's second son with her second husband was into that like 25 years ago, and he was poor, but he was recycling gold and silver out of computers and laptops, phones, solar panels. He was extracting out of everything, and he didn't make no money. He made enough to survive, but he didn't make more than that. So it's not a profitable venture. But what is profitable in it is if the price action goes up 10x on silver, and if you have a surplus supply of solar panels that you say got for $25 a solar panel now, and the price of silver goes up 10x, and you hold on to those 100 solar panels, once it goes up 10x, then it'll be profitable. But that'll be for the person that buys, holds, and sees that opportunity. And that's not an option for most of us, because you have to have land to do that. And most people don't have land. So it's not really an option for everybody. But there is, and there will be people that do that and will do that. Buddy Pete the Sasquatch, he's not doing that. He actually bought like 8 pallets of solar panels for him to set up around his ranch, for his ranch's power. What's up, Ginger? I don't want to hear you right now, honey. So he's got like 80 solar panels, or no, 120 solar panels. It was like at $15 a pop because he bought so many of them. But for him, if it 10x's in price, it'd be more than worth it. But that's such a rarity and occasion. Oh, there's a lot of other things that can be recovered. The actual photovoltaic cells themselves can be reused. Just, yeah, I don't know what, that market. I know there's a market for the solar cells, the actual solar cells, the whatever silicone-based product they have that's actual solar collector can be recycled as well. It's just not a lot of money. Most of it can be recycled. And then I think there's like aluminum in there. The base will be probably aluminum. You can recycle that. So there is, but yeah, it's not, it's your time, your time. There's so many other ways to make money. You could buy an ounce of platinum and make more money in a year holding on to that than you could on recycling 100 solar panels. Yeah, nitric acid, and then you recover it from that. It's a harsh process. And also you need to get a tetanus shot, because when doing that, you're probably going to poke yourself with some form of metal, whether it be aluminum, copper, steel, gold, silver, and it's going to have some contaminants on it. So if you do any kind of recycling in that type of area, definitely get a tetanus shot. Because my aunt actually died because she didn't have a tetanus shot. She died of tetanus, believe it or not, about 15 years ago. She was part of the recycling. That's why I don't talk about her. She was part of the recycling business that they had. And she just overlooked a little prick that she had on her finger. killed her. So tetanus shots are very important, people. Yes, you can grow. Yes, just silver crystals. Yes, you can, Jay. Yeah, Jam. And also, technology is going to change. As right now, if you know anything about solar, they call it photovoltaic. I believe they say photovoltaic because, and I don't quote me on this, but it's the light spectrum that we can see is where it's where they're getting their photons from. It's from the spectrum, and they build these solar cells to capture that energy. There's a new solar cell. It's not a photovoltaic. It's something else voltaic, and it captures the photos, but also the infra and the ultra, which is a wider spectrum of light that our eyes don't see, but some animals can see through the infrared and the ultraviolet. And these new solar cells collect that level of energy from light as well, so they're more efficient. They're more encompassing of the light from which they can draw energy from, so therefore they draw more energy, so therefore they're considered efficient. They're just newer tech, and they're going to be coming out. And those in particular type of solar cells, they can use copper instead of silver because there's so much gain in energy from the infrared and ultraviolet gain added to the voltaic cell that they can use copper and still get a higher energy. What is it? That's a percentage of efficiency. Right now, I think the highest one's at 24.3 using silver as a conductor. This new style of photovoltaic, not photo, of some sort of a solar cell that they have is using copper is at 25.9% efficiency. So it's a better efficiency, or in the tests so far, it's shown a better efficiency using copper than silver for this new type of solar cells. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they could code it with something. It was under any study that comes out, it's usually under lab conditions, and they account for that by just doing the numbers and not real life use cases. So you can anticipate some variations in that. But they also, with new technology, they've got different things they could like just spray paint on a clear substance that will prevent tarnishing. So I don't know. I'm not an expert in that. I keep up with what's new in these technologies, but I'm not in depth into the new technologies. I do know a little bit about them and why they're new. But beyond that, I'm no expert by any means, Tom. But yeah, it does tarnish, and there's a possibility, that does not affect the electrical transfer because the copper is not what's a collection system; it's a transfer of DC power, I think. So a tarnishing of it on the outside, they might just make it a little thicker, so that way it's irrelevant. If it gets a little, what do you call that? Where it turns green. There's a word for it. It's wow, it escapes me. It's not tarnish. It's an oxidized process. It's out of It's there's a word used for it when it turns green in artistic terminology, like when you have gutters on the old French chateaus that are copper, and then they change color over time. There's a word they use that it's no longer copper. It's copper that's done something, and that's the word I'm looking for. And right now it's escaping me, even though I watched Escape to France, and he's actually just did a new copper gutter, and he just talked about it and used that word, but I can't recall it right. Patina. Thank you, Tom. God, that was going to bother me for a while. It patinas, yeah. So that doesn't affect the electrical transmission path. It affects the look. So with tarnish or patina, yeah. Jam, thank you guys. Man, that was bothering me, guys. I couldn't think of it. I was like, and I just saw this guy's show like 2 weeks ago, and he said it. Anyhow, yeah. I guess California Wacky Tobacco might be doing something there. in which case I must smoke more so it doesn't affect me so much. Or I need to drink more tea with cinnamon, honey, and lemon. Healthy shit, bro. And pinky out. Elbows in, pinky out, baby. Learned that one in Scotland at Royal Training. And you keep your elbows in because you usually have seats with a lot of other fucking royals around the king or prince or fucking duke or whoever it is, and you're tightly squeezed together. So you have to. I learned to the etiquette of eating, elbows in like this, and when you drink, you keep your elbows in, and you don't do the cowboy elbows out thing like Americans. We always do this number because we like elbow room. That's what they mean, elbow room. Because if you were in like a royal setting in Scotland and you did this, you'd just hit the motherfucker in the face next to you. So you have to do this number. Yeah, etiquette from England. We all come from different places and we all bring our own fucking skills to wherever it is we find ourselves. Well, Jeffro, you say your 1970 Cadillac has patinaed. I just say it hasn't been washed. But we all have different terms for different scenarios. I'm not going to begrudge you yours. You know I'm fucking with you, obviously. And that's why I said this is not for kids, because every now and then I've gotten better over the years. I've only cursed so far 2 times. I've been on for an hour and 21 minutes. So I'm getting better, but it's still slipped out. It has newsmatic value, as James says. Indeed. That's what you call rust? Newsmatic value? Oh, it's just some newsmatic value. Don't worry about it. Polish it out. That's what we used to look for when we were buying cars down south. We'd know if the car came from up north or not because it would have rust underneath, because up north they salt the roads in the wintertime to help, or at the end of winter to help get the ice off the road. They salt the roads, and the salt and ice gets flung up to the bottom casing of the car, underneath of the car, and it'll usually cause rust because most people, when they wash their cars, don't wash the undercarriage. And we get a lot of cars from the north that had the beginnings of rust on the undercarriage, and you could tell. Beautiful cars too, but oh yeah, I mean, I appreciate the vouching, indeed, Tom. Again, I don't lie. My friend has a quiet. That's Ginger. He still to this day has a car dealer's license and has a small used car business. Every time I go down the Pensacola area, if I'm there long enough, we'll hit the auto auction, and that's, we know what. I still know what to look for, and I know why, because he did it. He's been doing it for like 40 years, and I still stay in touch with him. He's also a realtor, and he's a retired lawyer. He's got fucking weapons dealer. He's got all kinds of licenses, and I stay well versed in all those things because of him, because we talk about it. You got that right, JM. You definitely got that right. When you drive up north in the summertime, the Southerners, they'll see these big, oh man, wow, fuck the words again. That third curse word, silos, but they're small. They're not as big as like a hay silo, or not a grain silo, and they're built a little different. And you look at it, wonder what it is. If you talk to a local, it's this salt storage for salting the road. And they're huge. That's how much salt they use on the road. They pre-fill them up, getting ready for wintertime. Yeah, big domes, indeed. Yeah, the brine solution. And if you know anything about fish, brine solution is a good thing to grow shrimp and crawdads in if you have ponds. If you're like doing rice, it's also good for growing rice in. So there's a multiple use of a brine solution. They also use a brine solution when drilling certain holes, depending on how deep they go and what type of rock they have to go through. Yeah, basically salt water. But it's also it's mucky salt water. That's why it's brine. It's not just salt water. It's a sediment filled salt water or a dirt filled salt water. Yeah, I used to have it was a 1974 Bug, and I drove that son of a bitch until someone one day in front of me on a 2-lane road out in the outskirts of Pensacola, Florida, out in the rural area, oncoming, and he wanted to pass, and there was a light coming up, so he was speeding up, and I was behind him, and then instead of going around the guy this way, the light changed, so he went onto the grassy median to the right of you, and I noticed when he did that, because I was like behind him a good ways, but we were going kind of fast, with a speed limit like 45, 50, and it was raining, and so he went ahead and went off to the right, and I saw a car stopped. So I slammed on my fucking brakes in this little VW, and I came, and I barely hit the guy, and the whole fucking undercarriage of my car collapsed. And where the VW Bug used to be like this, I was holding it like this, to where the bottom of it was like here. And I got out of the car, looked at his car, nothing happened. His car, I was like, well, I guess I'm not driving anywhere. The whole undercarriage rusted and fell out of the car as I was driving. It was kind of fun. Weird, but fun. I don't want to do it again. Definitely don't want to do it again, because it would have fucking took half my head off. Oh man, JM, and they probably do that to encourage the auto industry's secondary industry of parts and labor and mechanic shops to increase their economy. There's I know here in America, and that's a good subject I'm going to divert into. As far as oh wow, this is fucked up, man. Up fourth curse word. I'm gonna start this off with when I was in Italy in Santa Teresa, Sardinia. We were one of the first Americans to live there, to work at the Navy base and go to the Navy area, because that was the first year the Navy base opened. It was like 1971 is when it was open. We got there early 72. We disclaimer: everything I'm fixing to say is bullshit. Don't believe a fucking thing, because you can't prove it anyhow. 1972 wintertime, we set the town on fire because it was an old school town, and they had a dump where everyone took their garbage, and they'd burn it like once every 3 months, but someone would watch it. Anyhow, there's pigs back there. Long story short, we set the thing on fire, got away from the pigs. Wind changed, and the grass there used scythe. You know what a scythe is? It's not a lawnmower, because no one had lawnmowers back then in Italy. So you used a scythe. So the grass was usually 3 to 4 foot tall. And there's a big hilly area with rocks behind the houses, and then the line of houses, and the houses were all stucco, no eaves, and they all had about 1 foot of a white rock or shell around them, right? So this fucking fire starts burning through the town, and I'm watching it from a hilltop, and I see all the Americans their first year out there thinking we're going to do the right thing and help these people out and show them how good America is, right? So we bring in helicopters, we bring in fire trucks, we're bringing everything to put the fire out, right? That's like the 30th time the fire burned through that town in 100 years, because it happens every 3 to 4 years. So they built their houses to withstand a fire burning through the town. Not one house was burned. Now we take that from 1972 and we take it to California, 2024. WTF, people? It's building code. Everything that burnt. It was built to burn. If you look at the houses that didn't burn, they were built not to burn. Simple realization that you're an idiot if you buy a house that was built to burn. What do I mean by that? Eaves. You have eaves overhanging, and you have bushes right here. Well, what's going to happen? The bush is going to catch on fire. It's going to catch the eave on fire, go up inside your house. Your house is going to burn down. Why? Because you had bushes right beside your house and you had eaves. If you don't have those bushes and you don't have eaves, your house ain't going to burn. One of many reasons why houses burn in America, because they're designed to burn. In Italy, 1972, I saw a freaking town of like 400 people. We were one of 5 American families that lived in that town at the time. And it's grown since then. I've looked at a map, Google map. It's grown a big time. But I saw it. The fire burned all the way down through that town, and then it hit that fucking plain area, and it just kept burning. I was like, wow, cool. And then I see these houses burned in America. I'm like, and I've been in construction. I know it's like, it's building codes. What's a building code? A code you have to follow to build your house. Why is the building code telling you to build a house that'll catch on fire in a fire? And then they're charging you insurance for fire insurance and not paying it off. Isn't that kind of fuck? I didn't say the whole word. Fowed up? Yeah, that's frilled up big time. Yeah, the Grim Reaper sickle, also known as a scythe. I used to use one in the 2nd and 3rd grade to mow my lawn. For all you people who walked a mile, I'll tell you about a story. I walked a half mile to school in the snow, to and fro, when I lived in Scotland at the lighthouse. School bus didn't come out to the lighthouse. We walked down the road to meet the school bus. It's about a little over half-mile walk along the North Shore, North Sea, one side, Scotland on the other side. I've had great experiences in life. And no, I did not enjoy mowing my lawn with a scythe in 2nd grade. It sucked butt. Luckily, we only did it once a year, just like all the Italians. We got out of it. But one day a year, me and my brother were out there. Whoosh, whoosh, and there's a rhythm to it. They have the stick. It goes down at an angle, and then the scythe, and it usually has a handle. Dude, if you get that thing right, you're holding it, you can just hold it like this and keep walking just like this, and you're cutting. It's a motion exercise. It's not work. As soon as you figure out the rhythm for that implement, that tool, it's actually easy to use if you've got that handle. Otherwise, you kind of got to guess at the angle. But with the handle, it's kind of intuitive, the angle that you have it at. And you can figure it out after the 3rd or 4th swing, the exact angle to work. It's a relatively simple tool to use, very effective. A colored chloride salt. Yeah, that sounds like fun for the environment. No, you can build toward to your own codes. And this is one thing people don't realize. Building codes, if you're building a house, everyone's like, oh, we got to follow the building code. No, you don't. You don't have to follow the building code if you exceed it. To exceed it, you got to know why they have a specific code. Not just that they have one. Oh, they have a code. You have to have an eve. Why do you have to have an eve? There's a reason. So you negate that reason, you no longer need to have an eve. So the code doesn't apply. See, I'm the kind of guy, I'm a very valuable iron worker. There's lots of problems with safety on a job site. Like say when harnesses first came out and they had retractable yo-yos, they had to be tied up above your head. So if you fell, they would latch and you wouldn't fall. But if you're doing a roof of a building, you can't have anything above you. We used to make fun and call it the invisible tie-off, because you'd have to tie off below your feet, which was industry standard illegal. Kneel on every job. I know how to subvert building codes and safety regulations. And on this in particular safety regulation, all you have to do to get around safety regulations is go to the contractor and the head insurance guy and negotiate with them the safest business practice, industry practice to do your job, because industry standards won't allow the common use of safety. So you go in there and they give you special permission for that job only to work unsafe. And no other ironworker figured that shit out. Fucking bunch of dumbasses. That's why one reason why I was so valuable. Anytime someone wants to talk safety, they're like, send Neil. Yeah, what do you want to Let's talk. Well, my boys need to get up there. How are we going to negotiate this to where the job can get done and the boys can be tied off? Unless you want to hire, and this is where I always got them, unless you want to hire another piece of equipment to get up there for us to extend above the roof for our boys to tie off to. Do you want to make that expense? Boom, money gets them every time. Every time. No, we don't want to pay it. Okay, now I've got the leverage on this negotiations on how we're going to do it, because you don't want to throw the money up to do it the way it needs to be done. So let's talk about how it can be done. So you already get them at the beginning of the conversation by throwing out, it's going to cost you more. And the safety guy says, you're going to have to if you want to do it that way. And now you start the negotiations, and that's legal for insurance companies for safety in America. Yeah, the sky hook. You know what I'm talking about, Jay. The invisible hook, the sky hook, exactly. We used to have problems with that. I could negotiate around that every time. And most of the time, they would make me do the work, since I was the one who came and talked to them and negotiated the safety, the new job site standard safety practice for that scenario. They would usually have me do it. And that's where I took it from that and became a trained and certified and competent and qualified safety coordinator. Yeah, I can get around all that shit. You don't need a skyjack. You need to be smart. You need to know what you're doing and how what you're doing gets done and why. If you know the hows and whys, you don't have to do as much their way. You can negotiate your way around it. I did it all the time. And in doing the research to find all that crap out, that's how I know so much about platinum, the platinum market, crystallized osmium, silver, and all these other things, these miners and these energy markets that I talk about. This is all through research that I've done to discover this stuff. And like I said, right now, platinum play is just going to make me look like I'm a genius, and it's going to make everyone else on YouTube look like they're tail coating Neil's on Dynasty. Because I got the videos for almost 2 years saying the same thing. Now everyone else is saying it. World Platinum Council coming out and saying it. And that's where I say digital platinum, because the World Platinum Council is actually talking about that too. But they're always late when I'm early, or they're late. However, it's like insider trader information without being an insider. You just do enough research and you can get that information too, and come to an understanding of how things are done and why they're done the way they're done. Is how you really learn shit on how you would capitalize on shit. You find the loopholes, or you make them. And I'd smoke pot before I'd go in these negotiations for these guys. I'd still come out smelling like a fucking king. My call name for about 5 years was King Decker. Because any problem. I walked on this one job one day. It was a big warehouse job. The erectors were supposed to start in the northeast quadrant and go to the northwest. And they started in the northwest. And I looked up at it. I was there. No one else was there. And I just hired on his hand, not the boss. I got there early. And I looked up and I said, who fucked up? And the fucking contractor looked at, or not the contractor, the erection crew foreman, and they're usually assholes, looked at me because the contractor was out there. He goes, what do you mean? I was like, well, I'm looking at the deck, and the way it's situated, every one of those pieces of deck has to be backlapped, which means you should have started over here, or you should have got permission to turn the deck around if there was some reason. And I told them the whole scenario of why they put the deck over there, and they're like, yeah, you're right. That deck there that connection got fucked up, so we couldn't start there, but it didn't happen until after we scheduled it and got the trucks delivered. And I was like, well, why didn't you take it a step further and just reverse the decking to make it easier on the guys' backs? And the contractor looked at me, he's like, what? I didn't think of that. I was like, yeah, you got yourself out of your financial squeeze and your fuck up, and you put it on our backs. Thank you. You gonna buy us lunch for that? No, they didn't. But anyhow, I got the day out of it, and we didn't work because they weren't finished because the fuck up. They didn't start where they were supposed to, so they're organized. They were like half a day behind, so we didn't start till the next day. Yeah, kind of fucked up. But I can just look at a job and tell people hate that. I'll be like, on the 8th floor right over there, why is that beam out of place? And they'll be like, what are you talking about? It's funny. I've actually built a whole building without a set of prints and got every piece right. Because I just read the iron. It was in Walnut Creek. It was the Walnut Creek Health Center edition. If you ever want to check it out. We were there for 3 months before we got an approved set of prints from the city and the state. And I finished the job 3 days after I got the prints. And it was a 3-month job. So according to the paperwork, I did a 3-month job in 3 days. Or I did a 3-month job in 3 months, and they got me the paperwork in the last 3 days on how to do the job correctly. And the inspector came out there. I just told him, I said, he brought the prints smiling. I was like, don't do no. I knew him at the time. I don't recall his name now. I said, don't be smiling at me. I said, you just go through and see where I fucked up. Because I did everything industry standard. So he walked the whole job. He came back to me. He's like, damn, Neil. He goes, you only missed one thing, and it wasn't because it wasn't industry standard. He said there was a job specific. They wanted a double row of studs on this one line for some specific reason. I was like, why the hell? He goes, yeah, I said that too, but that's why you missed it, because it wasn't industry standard. There'd be absolutely no reason to have them other than they specifically asked for it for some crazy reason, which they did. And it took me like fucking half hour to take care of that, and it was job complete. It took like an hour and a half to set up the equipment and tear it down. It took a half hour to actually fucking do it because I had pulled everything out ready to go because I was done. I even jury rigged because it was a new building hooked up with an existing building, and where the ground guys did their concrete work for the steel to set, the offset of the angle degree of the old building and the new building was like, hold on, let me get it right. Yeah, it was like kind of like that. It was like six inches on one end, 2 inches on the other end, over like 80 yards. So it wasn't that bad, but when it comes to decking, it was that bad, because there was no flashing that was engineered for that. But because of industry standard, I knew if I used a 10-inch or 10 gauge metal to fill that gap, that it would be acceptable. So I got some 10 gauge flashing, filled it, and the engineer wrote it off. He was like, yeah, that's fucking perfect. I'll write that off. So basically I built the whole fucking building without an engineer and without prints and without an inspector. And when it did come, I did it 100% correct. 100% industry standard. All safety rules, everything applicable. But anyhow, I talked about what I wanted to talk about in this live stream. What do you guys want to talk about? I wanted to let you know about platinum. Platinum. And I've done that. I do that pretty much every live stream. But this one's more important because now more people are talking about platinum. And if I say it enough, you might want to buy some platinum. Because platinum is a good thing to have. And if you say platinum 6 times and you hear platinum and you think about platinum, platinum will be on your mind. It's like hearing that song, someone sing that tune, and you don't recall until you hear it, and then you can't get it out of your head. Same thing with saying platinum too much. It was intentional, guys. I'm a dick, but I'm right. I like having fun. To this day, I like having fun over being serious and still getting the point across. Yeah, exactly, Jay. And by then, it's already too late. Because you'll have lost $400 of profit or 25% gains or 30% gains, depending on how you want to look at it, And by the time it hits 1,300, the platinum stock for clean air metals, and then probably around that time, it'll start taking off. Because as I read in the report coming from the World Platinum Council, supply is low. Again, we only have a 3-month above ground supply on the planet for platinum. Let me convert the English here. What would you do if I said there's only a 3-month supply of silver above ground? How much do you think silver would be worth in a squeeze situation like that? because there is only a 3-month supply of platinum above ground, ready to go for industry, jewelry, medical, electrical, chemical. Only a 3-month supply, and our production of it is decreasing. The price is fixing to demonstrate all of the indicators before a price goes parabolic. That's all I'm saying. No, it won't take very long, Jay. And not only that, again, a prediction I made, not even a prediction, it was a fucking no-brainer. Clean Air Metals said they weren't going to start mining till the price of platinum started going up. Okay, did I mention we have a 3-month supply above ground? So whoever's suppressing the price of platinum, they need platinum. So now think of it as a poker game. Who has the leverage here? The persons or entities suppressing the price of platinum, the miners controlled by them, or the new miner that can give you the supply you need, that says he's not going to do anything until you quit suppressing the price. How long before you break their back? 1, 2, 3 months, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Get some platinum, people. Seriously, get some freaking platinum. Not financial advice whatsoever. It's just damn good advice. And crystallized osmium, because along with platinum goes crystallized osmium. It's a platinum group metal. Rhodium, all of them. All of them. It's just the use case. Look for all the. I'm not well versed in the use case of the rest of them. I am in the crystallized osmium, actually, but the rest of them, like rhodium, iridium, all those others, I'm not well versed in the use cases and stuff like that. So yeah, I saw that. See, again, the statement I just made on this, the breaking of the price of this price suppression of platinum, I believe if that is what you're saying, yes, I think it will affect the price. I think this is a blow to China and their economy because it's on a larger geopolitical. Look at platinum as a chess piece in a bigger playing field. And that playing field is not a chessboard, but a geopolitical, strategical chessboard. So there's more to it than just chess. But it is a big player on the chessboard. But there's geopolitical moves that determine, is it the black chess piece or the white chess piece? Because it's fixing to change to the white chess piece. Because it's fixing to break out from BRICS. And what I see personally is BRICS probably kicking South Africa out and America taking South Africa as an ally and having them change. And we control platinum, in which case the price would skyrocket. And BRICS would get the Sahel nations because they're really, really, really supporting. Russia is so courting Ibrahim Traoré from Burkina Faso. I could only see Russia courting Burkina Faso into BRICS to take South Africa's place, personally. But that's just a personal thing. I other than a gut feeling, that there's no paperwork to prove that. Oh boy, howdy was he. He was squirming so bad, especially when Trump, you see those folders he broke out? Trump said, well, this person here, he was murdered, white guy. This person here, white kid. All these murders. He's like, looks like a genocide to me. No, what those kids were doing there, or those politicians from South Africa, was they were there, and Trump, basically, this is what I think happened, because they had every minister there. They had their economics guy, their farming guy, their agriculture. They had all their guys there, not just Ramaphosa. He had his whole cabinet, pretty much. The heads of his cabinet were there. You saw him walk in. There was like 6 or 8 of them. This is what I foresee happening. Trump looking at each one of them saying, you're going to do this. 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 And you're going to approve it all and set the direction this way. And once you do all of that, we'll have better relations. And that's what's going to happen. They didn't come there to talk to him. They came there to be told what they need to do. That's it. Why? They need us. Why? Russia's not helping them. China's not helping them. India's not helping them. Are you getting the feeling that BRICS is helping South Africa, which is the S in BRICS? Because if you're getting that feeling, you're right. BRICS is not helping the S in BRICS. They're going out of their way not to, geopolitically. So politically, what's going to happen? You deregister them. You get rid of them. They're a liability. Or what's happening is they're changing chess pieces. They're changing. They're flipping to the other side. Oh, by the way, another part of my report I don't think I might have brought the Democratic Republic of Congo. I think I did talk about this. In a report I did a couple weeks ago, the president of the Democratic Republic of Congo said, asked Trump, hey, if you help us, we'll give you first priority rights to all of our minerals in our country. And Trump just said in Jeffro, in that Ramposi, while he was squirming in his chair, Trump mentioned how we ended that war, which means our special operations boys already went down there and took care of those other two armies that were invading the Democratic Republic of Congo. And I read you the report earlier in this stream where America has, and a lot of important sectors of the American economy have first rights of every mineral in the Democratic Republic of Congo, which is more important than South Africa's minerals, more important than the Sahel region of Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali, as far as a full amount of resources, although that area does have uranium and gold. I'll give them that. Oh, yeah, leadership. That's why I say what Ramposi's doing over there, and the reason why he brought his head ministers with him is because they're being told what they're going to do. Because what happened was when they were in BRICS, they were following China's lead, doing what China told them to do. As a chess piece, they were doing what their master told them to. Their master was China. China's dumping them. If China wasn't dumping them, China would provide them with coal that they need for their coal-powered power plant. If Russia wasn't dumping them, Russia would provide them with the nuclear need they have to restart their nuclear power plants, but they're not doing that. Do you see a trend of BRICS not helping South Africa when they could easily change the playing field with no problem? But they're not. That's suspect to me. I mean, both China and Russia, both on their own, could do one thing that would change South Africa's future for the better. And they're not. They're courting other countries. Okay, make of it what you will. I know what I see, and I tell you what I see. But anyhow, what I do see is platinum's going to roll. And I'm going to go ahead and end this stream because it's been about 2 hours, and I only wanted it to be about a half hour because but I was rolling on about platinum, and crystallized osmium. It's going to be the same way. 2026 is going to be no more produced. Imagine what's going to happen. Platinum squeezes on. We have a 3-month above ground supply left. Get to know industry and the supply and demand of industry and the economics of the industry and the supply and demand of the economics of industry. And after you change your pants, buy a lot of platinum. Be kind, helpful, grateful, people. Peace out. I need to put this down so I can see where to end stream.